Former PSL referee Ace Ncobo has withdrawn his candidacy for the Safa presidency. This leaves incumbent Danny Jordaan as the only candidate. Ncobo and Jordaan were supposed to go up against each other at the association's elective congress in Sandton. He joins us now on the line. Thanks for your time, sir. We appreciate it. Tell us why you pulled out.
You know, son, I have worked very hard over the past 50 years of my life to build an image that's based on principle. I can never allow a situation where my name is used to endorse an unlawful and unprocedural process. I pulled out because even if I were assured of 100% of the voting delegates, I would still be insisting that I do not want to be produced as a Safa president by an unlawful process.
There are reports saying that you were threatened today. Is that correct?
Right in front of everybody. Delegates threatening me, throwing insults and throwing threats, and I raised it with the chairperson of the electoral committee who was chairing that particular session. And all that he did was to plead for people to tone down their anger and all those things instead of asking people to acknowledge and apologize for threatening me. So that just tells you what kind of an organization this is.
What were they saying?
I can't repeat the word that were used.
You talk about
I can't.
You talk about an unlawful process in this election. Tell us exactly what you mean. What is the unlawful process?
Well, the very same electoral committee that presided over this process was unlawfully appointed. They know. None of the constitutionally prescribed deadlines were met. There are people in the lineups intended for voting who are not eligible to stand because some of them have criminal records. None of the vetting processes that are supposed to take place have taken place. So every single thing that constitutes a lawfully convened Congress has been violated. I can't tacitly give my approval to such a fraudulent scam by participating in such a process. That's the reason why I had to pull out.
Now, some of those arguments were brought up in a court case yesterday to try and halt this election from going ahead today. That didn't work. So what do you do now?
I do not know about any court case. I was not part of that process. So I wouldn't be in a position to comment on that.
Are you going to challenge the outcome of this election or not?
I haven't made any decision as to what the next step is going to be.
Tell us about the rot, the alleged rot at Safa. There's so many things being said about the caliber of people who are in those branches, the caliber of people who are up for this election. What should we know about what's going on?
There are many credible men and women who are on the list of nominees for the various positions within the Safa Council. And we can't make the mistake of painting everyone in that list with the same brush. The truth of the matter is that in terms of the Safa Constitution, there's only one person who is empowered to be the custodian of the statutes and the electoral code, and that the person who occupies the position of Safa president. He has failed dismally in doing that. Instead, he has manipulated every single process. He has established a network of patronage politics that doesn't take football forward.
So obviously you don't support Danny Jordaan for this post, but he's the only one running as it stands, which ultimately means he's going to be re-elected. What then? Do you sit back and relax and watch things unfold, or do you actually take action?
I'm a child of the football family. I love this sport. This sport has made me who I am. I am known across the length and breadth of this continent because of football. I do not think that anybody who loves football, who loves this country, and who loves Safa can sit back and relax when somebody who has proven himself to hate football so much that he doesn't care about the violations that are being perpetrated every single day, at all the different levels, nationally, provincially, regionally, and at the local football association level. And he does absolutely nothing about those things. That person must then be congratulated and celebrated as a Safa president. I'm not going to join that.
Mr. Ncobo, you say you love football, you love Safa, but it doesn't seem like Safa loves you because they've accused you of continuously bringing the organization into disrepute. They've even threatened you with action.
The truth never brings anybody into disrepute. The truth is always the truth. They published a press release 3 weeks ago talking about charging me for bringing the association into disrepute, which is something that they said would take place within 2 days of them publishing that press statement. It's been 3 weeks now. Where are the charges? It is simply because, one, you can't just, as an individual, sleep and wake up the following day and say, I hate Ncobo, let's charge him. Secondly, you have no basis to charge somebody that is telling the truth. Because when you charge that person, you must prove that the person is lying. And the lying is intentionally meant to tarnish the image of the organization. They are unable to charge me because they know that every single thing that I have said in the public space has been nothing but the truth. The truth backed up by evidence. I've been very careful because I knew that we would come to this stage. I've been very careful in not uttering anything unless I could back it up with documentary evidence. And that is why they cannot charge me. And if they do, that is why they will not win any charges against me.
So let's talk about Danny Jordaan's reign in power. You paint him out to be a pretty dodgy guy with questionable motives in the organization. But in 2017, Safa reported a profit of 23 million rand. That's compared to the year before when it was 45 million rand in the red. So he has done some good, hasn't he?
We've got to ask ourselves this question. If an organization posts a profit of 23 million, and in the very same month that it publishes those annual financial statements, the organization cannot pay its dues. It can't pay the monthly grants to the members of Safa, the regional members of Safa. It can't pay prize money to the clubs that have won competitions. We've got to ask ourselves this question. Was that a genuine financial report? We've got to ask again this question. Who authenticated those financial reports? It's that rogue firm of auditors called KPMG that everybody knows has been embroiled in all sorts of fraudulent endorsement of financial reports and other investigations. So we've got to look at those things and ask those questions, because ever since Safa declared the 23 million rand profit, they haven't been able to pay monthly grants for something like 9 months. When during the 10th month they paid regions their monthly grants, they only paid grants worth 1 month. Where is the 23 million? Because when you declare 23 million rand profit, you are saying, I have this 23 million rand in the bank. Why are clubs still waiting for their prize money? Why did they even write to the clubs and the regions to say, we are sorry, we are unable to pay you, we are waiting for some client like SABC to pay us before we pay you? So that puts under question the entire declaration of a 23 million rand profit.
One question before I let you go. I'm interested to find out exactly how much Safa's president does earn.
Zero. The Safa presidency is not an executive presidency. It's a ceremonial position. It's got a zero salary. There is nobody who should be motivated to contest for that position if they want to make money for themselves. Anybody who contests for that position must contest for that position because they have a genuine interest for the development of football in this country.
So that argument about greed and money about Danny Jordaan kind of falls flat, doesn't it?
I'm glad that I am not part of anybody that has said anything about greed and such things against him. I've only held him to account on football matters. I've only held him to account on the violations of the statutes and the electoral code.
All right, thanks for your time, sir. Appreciate it. That was Ace Ncobo, a former PSL referee.